Here we are again at the Fire Within. I'm your host, Joel Young, and I want to talk a little bit about history tonight and the entrepreneurs that form the fabric of the Okanagan region. Tonight, my guest is Shari McDowell, one of the co-founders of a unique product for seniors and disabled, the Aquassure bathtubs. Shari, welcome to the show tonight. I'm looking forward to chatting with you. Shari, maybe you could tell the viewers, to get the show started tonight, maybe you can tell the viewers, what is Aquassure?
Aquassure is an accessible bathtub company. So we started off with just a single product, which is a bathtub, a slide-in tub that was developed for people with disabilities about 10 years ago. So our original product is a full-size bathtub over top a cabinet base with a sliding door in the side. So you sit down in the doorway and slide back in and then close the door, and you can have a full-size deep soak bath. Since then, we've expanded to a full line of accessible bathing products. So we now have accessible showers, accessible walk-in tubs, and a number of other accessible products that work with those accessories.
That's great. How did Aquassure get started? I'm listening to you talk about the tubs. When I met you, approximately 8-9 years ago, I guess, at that time I was fascinated with the idea of the tubs, a sit-down tub. Go figure. Now that I know what I know, I want to ask you tonight, because our viewers are still sitting there watching the show, shaking their heads. What? A sit-down bathtub? And particularly for seniors and disabled? How did it get started? What was the root, the genesis of the idea?
Well, it actually was my husband. Matthew Longman is a registered massage therapist in town, and one of his customers couldn't get in and out of a tub, so he hired a very large gentleman to lift him bodily in and out of the tub, because this was before there was any products on the market at all. Yeah. And Matt thought there has to be a better way. And so his engineering brain kicked in and he started sketching things, and there wasn't anything on the market. He looked on the internet, he phoned around, and no one seemed to have anything that was helpful for people who had difficulty getting in and out of the tub. So he designed the initial prototypes of it, and then we actually started down the path of commercializing the product, which was a much longer, harder path than we thought at the time, but we did it. So I had a marketing company at the time, and we looked at the market potential, and the market is there. There's a very large percentage of the market. It has issues with mobility. It starts around 12% of the average population that has mobility issues, but it rises to over 40% by the time you reach 75 years old.
Well, we are, you heard this probably more than I have, we are an aging population. I'm a senior and I'm part of the aging population, so I know all about it. I'm discovering aches and pains that I didn't know existed like 3, 4, 5 years ago.
Yep. And a lot of people, what we find is they can walk around okay, they can do a lot of the daily activities, but if they get into a bathtub, they cannot get out. So a lot of our customers aren't actually people in wheelchairs, they're actually people who have had knee or hip replacements, or who have arthritis, or who have conditions like Parkinson's or MS that are degenerative, and over time, it becomes increasingly hard to get out of their tub. They can usually get in. It's the getting out that's the problem.
And it isn't just the tub, it's other things too.
Yeah.
Even getting up off a chair like I'm sitting on now. That whole business of working against inertia, grunt, grunt, grunt.
Yeah.
So it's difficult. Well, okay, I'm fascinated. And how do you market your tubs and the bath products? Because I agree, because of the aging population, I don't need to be a rocket scientist to realize that there is an opportunity there because of the fact that we're an aging population, because of the fact that small things I'll use myself as an example, if I might, just for a moment. A year ago, I had a minor stroke, and I've spent time in the Kelowna General Hospital. And because of that minor stroke, I've got still, to this very day, a problem with my left leg. The rest of me is fine. I don't have any problem with my speech, no other physical problems, but the left leg just doesn't want to
do what you wanted to do.
Do what I wanted to do as conveniently. I used to do long walks and cycle with my wife, and I just can't quite do it anymore. When I sit in a chair like this, in my home, not so much this chair, but in my home I've got those kinds of sofas where you sit down and you sink
can't
right
get
in.
out. Yeah.
If I'm sitting too long, this left leg kind of stiffens up, and then I have trouble getting up, and I have to push myself. And even in my bed, in our bed, I have sheets that are bamboo sheets that are so slippery, I have trouble sliding my butt off the edge of the bed to get up in the morning. Anyway, I'm surviving. But I'm still fascinated with the whole idea of your products, especially the tubs themselves. And how do you market it? How do you get the word out that, look at us, we have something unique for you?
It's actually really hard because people look at the tub and they immediately think you step into it. But you do not step into the tub. You sit down on the edge and you slide in backwards. So we have a lot of education that needs to be done with people when they first see the product. They don't understand it. And so we've had a bit of an upward climb in that area.
Yeah.
We do a lot of internet marketing. Actually on Facebook, I have ads that come up. If people have searched for various disability related words in Google, then their Facebook feed will show that our ads, and our ads are sort of pictures of the product, and then hopefully they go to the website and then they see our videos. We're actually just redoing our videos. We need some new testimonials and new product videos. We're working with a company in town and we're filming in about a week to actually put together some more testimonial videos and more product videos.
Sitting with you, my mind is going, and I'm thinking, because of the roads I've traveled and am traveling, I'm thinking about the number of seniors communities in just the central Okanagan, never mind north and south. I've been to probably 10 or 12 of the seniors communities, the retirement communities in essence. And I can't help but think, what an opportunity. My own community, I live in Sonoma Pines in West Kelowna. 489 houses, over 1,000 people. We have a monthly newsletter for $9 or $10.
I should get in yours. I'm in a couple of the communities. Some of the newsletters in town, or some of the communities in town, we are in their newsletter. I'm not in that one.
I'll connect you with our editor.
And we also do things like the coffee news, and we've done some television advertising. It's been iffy in terms of it's hard to reach markets.
That's right.
We do sell through a number of distributors across Canada and through the U.S. So in the Okanagan, we do direct sales and we have a showroom. But outside of the Okanagan, we sell through other distributors.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I'll put you in touch with the people in our community. And then, again, to repeat myself, like one of the things that I had City Furniture on this show, the founding chairperson of City Furniture, and the man who is the president and general manager of the West Kelowna City Furniture, sitting on where you are sitting tonight. And we talked ad nauseum about the opportunities. In fact, I'm due to sit down and have a chit chat with them because they know they're not getting the word out as much as they should about their company, because they've got that. If you've never been in the store, it's the City Furniture store in West Kelowna, there's something like $2.5 million worth of furniture inventory sitting there. They've got everything you could possibly imagine.
I've seen their television ads.
Yeah,
so,
it's crazy, absolutely crazy. So you're doing some, you're going to redo some of your videos. You're doing some print ad work.
We do Facebook. We do Google
Facebook,
AdWords
Google
as
Ads,
well.
good.
And we have a website with videos on
Oh,
it.
good.
We
Well,
have
directing people to the website would be a big help, I think.
yeah. So we try and we get a fair amount of traffic, but you can always use more.
Yeah, exactly.
We were on Dragon's Den last year,
Oh,
which
okay.
was not so great in terms of how they edited it, but it was great for coverage. We had some good press coverage, and we had people who just saw that we were on Dragon's Den, didn't actually see us on Dragon's Den, but it helped with the publicity,
get
the words
anywhere?
out. I did get a little bit. I didn't get a deal. You know, by the time we applied, and then several months later, you go to Toronto when you film, and then 8 months later, they actually aired the little segment.
Yeah.
So with that timing, things change a lot, and
Sure.
how it was edited, we weren't very happy with.
Yeah.
But it
Okay.
was publicity, so you
Absolutely,
know,
absolutely.
it gets your name out.
Yeah.
There's name recognition, and we're pretty
Any
happy
publicity,
with that.
generally speaking, any publicity is good publicity.
Exactly.
Yeah. Shari, let's take a short break and we'll pick it up in a couple of seconds. We're back with Shari McDowell of Aquassure Bathtubs. Shari, I want to ask you, what are the types of customers that your company has? I mean, we mentioned at the opening of the show tonight, seniors and disabled people, but can you generalize or in fact be more specific? What are the kinds of customers that your company seeks and finds?
Okay, so we have a number of different markets. The first market is people who are in wheelchairs. So people who use wheelchairs have either had spinal cord injuries or have medical conditions that have led to being in a wheelchair. So for example, MS, Parkinson's, spasticity. So we have that whole group. Then we have people that just have trouble getting in and out of a tub, and that's probably the bulk of our customers. Specifically women who miss having a deep soak bath. They miss their jacuzzi tub. They love soaking in the jacuzzi tub, but the last time they got in it, they had trouble getting out or they got trapped in it. And so then it's been a while since they've had a bath, and they've had a shower, or they've sat in a shower chair, or they've had assistance, and it's horrible. So quite a few of our customers are people who have really nice bathrooms with a spa deep soaker tub in a 55 plus community, and it looks really great, but they haven't used that bathtub in 3 or 4 years, and they just miss having a bath. And so we take out their spa tub and we put in our Aquassure tub. It fits in the same spot, and it has that same high-end look. You can get custom cabinetry and nice tile surrounds and make it look really pretty, and it all matches their bathroom, and then they can have their deep soak bath again.
To get into the Aquassure tub, you just push up on the handle, open the door, sit on the edge, and scoot yourself back. You can use the handles inside to assist, or even though I've had 2 knee replacements, I can bend my knee up and use that to push myself in. To shut the door, you just lift up on the handle again and push it till you hear it click. To get out, again, pull up on the handle, slide it open, and scoot yourself back out, which is really easy to do when there's water left a little bit in the tub. You slide in and out very easily.
Knowing we were going to get together today for the show, I wanted to ask you, because I was thinking about it while I was waiting for you to come on set and waiting for Tim to get the cameras and lighting set up. And this is my question. How much effort would there be, and would it include a ridiculous extra cost to take the bathtub out of my master bathroom and replace it with one of your tubs?
Well, basically, it's a pretty fast process. You come in, you choose the options that you want. We figure out whether it's a left or right tub. We figure out if a tub is the right choice for you. In some cases, it's not.
Yeah.
And then we look at taking out your existing tub, and then we put the tub right in the same spot.
Okay.
So it's about a 2-day process to do the installation. That includes removal of the old fixtures and then all the finishing work around the tub.
Yeah.
If there has to be tile, we might have to come back 2 or 3 days, to finish the grout and to seal things up. But for the most part, the installation is done in 2 days. And in cost, it can range anywhere from about $10,000 to about $17,000, depending on what you're doing and what options you get.
The full job.
Yeah, so if you're going a little bit higher, then you can, it does add, especially if you're getting custom cabinetry and that sort of thing. I should add that there's actually quite a bit of funding available to pay for home renovations.
Oh, for heaven's
So
sakes.
the BC government has
home
a
renovations because I'm disabled, or home renovations because it's home renovations?
Both, actually.
Okay.
There's the BC Housing Home Adaptions for Independence program. So if you have mobility issues getting in and out of your existing tub, if you qualify, then there's up to $20,000 available to renovate your home. And that includes putting in sliding cupboards in your kitchen, it includes your bathroom, it includes lighting, it might include a ramp into your house. But in order to qualify, you have to be under a certain income level. You have to have less than $100,000 in the bank or in GICs. You can't. You can have it in registered retirement funds, but not in GICs. And your house has to be worth less than the average for that community. So in Kelowna, you have to earn as a couple $33,500 a year or less. And in Kelowna, I believe it's $430,000. Your house has to be worth less than that. So a lot of people do qualify, but not everyone.
I don't qualify, Tim. Tim, I don't qualify.
So then there's a couple of other things. There's a BC there's a BC government renovation tax credit, and there's a federal government renovation tax credit. So when you file your 2016 taxes, you can get 10% back on one and 15% back on the other on your taxes.
Okay.
And one of them is the BC one is a refundable tax credit. So that means even if you didn't pay any tax, you'll actually get a check in the mail up to a cap.
Yeah, okay.
Up to a $10,000 claim. Plus, you can claim it as a medical tax expense if you have a doctor's prescription saying that you need a bathtub for mobility purposes, and it has to be a prescription for mobility issues. They won't pay, you can't claim like the custom cabinetry, but you can claim the bathtub and the installation of that.
Major costs.
Yeah, the major costs. So there's quite a bit actually out there.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Shari, I've been hearing on the street and with the people I've been talking to that your company is getting ready to launch a brand new venture. Could you tell the viewers about that? Because we've already ascertained that you and your husband are two entrepreneurs from the Okanagan, and that being said, we'd be interested to hear what's new.
Yes, absolutely. It's not an Aquassure product, so we still have the full line of bathing products, and we have a great staff. I can't rave about my staff enough. They're wonderful. It's so nice when you can actually leave things in capable hands. So I'm at that point now, so we don't always have to spend 100% of our time on that one business. So we still have the massage therapy clinic, but we also actually have started a mobile solar generator business called Azimuth Solar Products. So we'll be launching a new product in that area in the next couple of months. So it's a whole new venture, and it's something that Matt and I have been working on for about a year. And we're getting ready to launch in that direction. So different market, different product, but still another adventure and another invention.
As a female entrepreneur who I have met, let's just say approximately 10 years ago, what motivates you personally, and what motivates you and your husband Matt as Okanagan entrepreneurs?
Well, a lot of it is just the desire to be your own boss. I started my first business when I was 19. I had a video store, which I know is relevant today, but it was then. And since then, both of us have had a number of our own companies. I had a marketing company prior to Aquassure, so it originally started with, I grew up in an entrepreneurial home. My father owned a paper wholesale company, and I used to help him on weekends, and it just sort of gets in the blood. So you work for I've worked for a few companies as an employee, but I like the freedom of being an entrepreneur. I like the challenges of getting something on the market and actually making it succeed. Sometimes you work a lot more than you should. I admit that. Like sometimes my weekends are not my own. My evenings are not always my own.
Right.
But you have total freedom, and I like being in charge. I can't,
Good,
so
good.
there's a part of that.
All of the things that you're saying are directly related to being an entrepreneur and the world of entrepreneurship. I want to ask you also, which I've never asked you before, I don't think. Where are you and your husband, Matt, from?
Oh, Matt actually is born and raised in Kelowna.
Okay.
So he's a Kelowna boy. I'm actually originally from Vancouver. I moved here in 1993.
Okie doke.
Yeah,
okay,
so
great.
I grew up on the coast, and I spent the Okanagan. I went to the Okanagan for vacations.
Okay.
And my parents actually retired here. So I was between ventures, and I looked at where could I settle, and the Okanagan seemed like a great place to relocate. So I moved up here after my parents did. Actually, they were living in Peachland. The first year was tough. The first year was very tough. But then after you get to know people and you make friends, it's a great place to live, and I wouldn't live anywhere else now.
Well, I think I mentioned to you, my wife and I moved here 10 years ago, 2006, from Saskatoon, really on a bit of a whim. We've never, ever, ever been sorry that we made that decision. Never. One night, we have our in-joke. One night over at the supper table, I said to my wife, would you be interested in? And I hardly got the sentence out of my mouth, and she said, yes. Would you be interested in looking at the Okanagan to move? Yes. And honest to goodness, we've never been sorry. We've had some fun because we live in West Kelowna. Overall, it's been a wonderful experience. And with tongue in cheek, I tell anybody who will listen to me, you're a captive audience tonight, so you're listening to me. I can stand on my deck and talk to 8 neighbors from my deck, 8. And I live in the only phase in my development that's circular. There's 42 houses in my phase. And the wives in my phase walk up and down the phase with a glass of wine in their hand, chit-chatting from house to house. I've never experienced that in my entire life, and I've lived all over Canada in my history.
I actually have a similar thing. It was sort of funny. When I first moved here, I'd been living on the coast.
Yeah.
And I moved here, and I moved to a rental house actually on the west side. And the second day I was there, my neighbor came over with a cake. And I looked at her like she'd grown horns, because why is this person talking to me, and what is wrong with this cake, and why is she giving me food? I did not understand, because I'd been so ingrained in the big city thing where you just don't talk to your neighbors.
That's right.
And I love it now.
The isolationism of it.
Yes, and I've lived in the same house now for 18 years.
Oh, okay.
And we
You
love
live on
it.
the west side?
No, I actually live now in Kelowna, Capri area. So so it's a great neighborhood.
Sure,
and,
yeah.
And we've been there a long time, and no intentions of moving. Yeah.
Great. Okay, thank you. Well, that's it for The Fire Within. For another episode, I'm Joel Young, your host. Until next time, enjoy your entrepreneurial venture and your entrepreneurial life in the Okanagan. When you find a problem or identify a problem, always look for the solution. An entrepreneur is the person that looks for solutions and not the problems. Till we meet again.